Hello and welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Thursday, October the 14th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Well, another crazy day in the market. Just have a daily chart of the SPY up first, and we still have another 50 minutes or so in the market to go. But this was yesterday's action, so this is Wednesday. This is Tuesday. So here was the big drop we had on Tuesday. The sky is falling. Then yesterday, everything is great. FOMC comes out. Everything is great. And now today, we're right back down. So, I mean, we're in a real schizo market here. Be interesting to see if it can go below the low of yesterday, which was about 192.36. We're right, we're not that far off. And again, we have about 0 minutes left in the market. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. Difficult to trade, on choppy. Oh, well, it's not so choppy so much, but let's just take a look at the 5 minute chart. And it is choppy. I mean, you come down here, a little bit of pump. Now, this trend you can short. There's no question about it. But we saw yesterday when the market all of a sudden rallied. So I'm sure people are worried about that. Now, when I say worried, I mean it's not like you just jump in with both feet and say, "Oh, great, the market's definitely going down now." When you get these whipsaw days, one after another, it really weighs on your emotions quite a bit. So. Having said all that, I traded for, let's see, one, two, three, four stocks today. Only one of them really matters, and it really mattered well for me. But we'll go over them all. The first stock was Nielsen, and Nielsen came on the bounce play. Now I had a lot of bounce alerts today. I mean, if I bring in my bounce alert window, you can see I had a ton of them. But you know what? So what? Uh, you know, Again, these bounce alerts, when I get the alert, it doesn't mean, for instance, ETP at 308 at $60.60 that it's a buy. Then I have to start watching the charts just to see what's happening. Well, when the market's going down, these bounces are just not going to work. And so it's really a guess. Even if one of these started to move up a bit, to me, it's just a guess. Like, which one do you pick that's going to keep going? So on a day like today, I almost have to just completely and utterly discount the bounces. And yes, I get them and I look at them, but unless the market all of a sudden made a big turn, I basically just throw the bounces away and forget about them. But at the beginning of the day, I was watching them to see, because I mean, we didn't know what the market was going to do yet. And so I was alerted to Nielsen right here and took the trade on, this would be sort of the classic. Took the trade right here in this first green candle over this red candle. Got in at, what was the price? 41.18 right here. And I sold at this point right up here at 41.38. And that was half. And then I sold the other half basically at break even as it was coming down on this candle here. So again, I mean, it was an okay trade, but there was no follow through. And you would expect that when the market is not going in your favor. The market doesn't have to be going up for the bounces to work. It doesn't even have to be, but if it's going down, it can be kind of neutral or going up. I mean, going up is obviously better. Neutral isn't bad, but if it's starting to go down, then, the bounces, unless you're in, some stock that all of a sudden somebody wants to get a hold of it and just moves it up without respect to the rest of the market, fine. But how do you find them? I mean, it's just not that easy. So you have to kind of play the market trend when you're in these bounces. The next one was Schwab. And Schwab, again, here we are. We're looking at, the market was down, coming down, looking at a bounce here, and took the trade. Let's see. Actually, this was a short. I forgot. Sorry about that. This was a short because these are all failed bounces. I mean, this is failed bounce. This is kind of a failed bounce. I mean, it did move up a little bit, but but this was afterwards. What I got into the stock right here at on the short at 27. This is wrong now. This is 27.66. It's hard to read. I'm sorry. This is 27.66 where I took the short. Right. I should have drawn my arrows here. And I took half out right here at 27.52, really hoping for it to keep going down. It didn't, and I basically covered the second half for a small loss, a 3 cent loss at 27.69. It did bounce a bit, but then it just basically came down and down and down. So obviously it would have been great if I'd been able to hold on to the short all day, but I have to respect this because again, just because the market's going down, you don't know. This could just keep going up, and you'd be kicking yourself for not obeying your stop. I actually, it ran through it. I should never have allowed it to go through my initial buy once I have made some money, but it does happen every now and then. The next one was KFX, and this one I saw in the pre-market, and it had been really hit hard, and it was down a lot. I was actually thinking about shorting it, but it bounced up and it kept, doing all this action here. And I finally took the trade on this candle right here at 613, and I wrote it up high. I was hoping that it would keep going up, but of course it didn't. And I actually said I had to go and walk the dog, and I put in a stop at 615. When I came back, I was stopped out, and a good thing because then it kind of collapsed after that. So those are all those ones. But however, the big trade of the day, of course, was Lake for me. And this is one of the, I hate to call them, but one of the Ebola stocks. They make a suit, I guess a hazmat suit. And so, of course, Ebola is getting a ton of play. Now, if you look at the daily chart in this one, if you haven't seen this one before, I mean, this has just had the a crazy rise from, well, I guess here at the $6, 723, had the pop up here, and then it's just been the last 3 days has been steady, steady up. I mean, this has just been a tremendous day. It's almost hit $20. But I got in, and it was sort of a chase, a little bit of a chase for me. Let me just bring up the 5 minute chart again. And here's on the open is right here. This is the pre-market, and so here's the open. So I mean, it ripped right from the open. I mean, we're talking from 12 up to 1461, and I ended up taking the trade right here. It popped, had a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a pop. It pulled back a little bit, and then as it was going up again, I took the trade at 1458. And so it was on this, actually was on this, this is wrong. This was on this candle here on the little pullback and then back up. And I took half out at 1525 because again, I just don't know what's going to happen. This could have just completely collapsed again. Wrote it out here and then was really rewarded. I mean, I didn't get out at the top here, 1871. I mean, I was really, you know, really rolling the dice on this one, and I waited a little bit long to get out. And when it broke down through 17, I took it out at 1694, and that's it. There were probably a few other opportunities to get back in. I suppose on this little two bar pullback right here, could have taken some at 17.99 and maybe ridden it up for almost dollar and a half anyway. But the market was just so erratic, and you just never know when the rug is going to get pulled on one of these. So, but nonetheless, I mean, really good. I mean, from 1458 to 1694, well over almost $2.50 on the second half of this one. So in a tough day to go long on the market, on any stock in the market, I certainly was able to do it on this one. So worked out very well for me there. And obviously have to keep watching it. This is shortable for me. I mean, this will have, there'll be a day in which it's just going to collapse. And, we hope that this Ebola starts to come under check. But, unfortunately, as more and more of the news comes out, and if we start getting a few, more deaths that are reported around the world, and I mean, this is just definitely going to be in play. TKMR, let me just see what it's doing right now. I mean, that's the so-called drug. I mean, it's only up 25 cents right now. So, I don't know really what's happening with this one. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, it still has let me just see here. I think it has um, well, I guess the high is up here, almost $30. So, I mean, it still has $5 or so if it wants to go up there. So, again, this is the vaccine, and the other one is I guess a hazmat material that people can wear. So anyway, hard to profit on stocks like this. It really is, but I mean, it's out there. So I guess if you see it, you take it. So let's see if there's anything else I can think of. Not really. I believe that I just want to bring back Lake again, see what it's doing, because I think 20 could be tomorrow if it can get up to 20. If it doesn't get up to 20 and starts to move down pretty aggressively, I think I would probably be in there to short it. So that's it. Quite a day. Um, Let me bring back the cover page. And again, here's the address to get into the room. And I hope to see you in the room tomorrow, which is Friday.